Hey guys, in this video we're going to be covering the in-app browser for Ionic 4, and we're going to build an example that looks just like this. We'll have a blank tab which opens a link in the in-app browser, as well as we'll have an open system button which will open it in the system browser, which in my case is Safari, and we're going to be getting this working in the web as well as on iOS, and we also get it running on Android as well. I've already generated a new Ionic project. If you're new to Ionic and you need help setting up a blank project, then be sure to check out my tutorial on installing Ionic. Other than that, we're going to be continuing on installing the InAppBrowser plugin inside of our blank project. Okay, so let's get started here by just in the docs gonna copy these first commands to install the InAppBrowser. So go ahead and paste that first command in the terminal, run it in my project directory, and do the same thing with that one, npm install the InAppBrowser. And then finally, we need to go inside of our module file and then add this as a dependency, specifically as a provider, so that we can inject it inside of our component as we're about to do. So just make sure it's in the providers array right here, as well as up here in the imports. So that's in the app.module.ts, and then I'm going to hop over to my home page where I'd like to use the in-app browser and then add the import up there as well. Then I'm going to make a constructor and inject the in-app browser as a dependency like that. I'm going to make two buttons here. One is going to be called open blank and the other one is going to be called open system, and this is just a demo for you what the in-app browser plugin does with blank and system target arguments. I'll show you what I mean in just a sec. So in the TypeScript I have open blank and open system, and then that's just going to open my home page using the in-app browser create, and then the target is going to be blank for the open blank and then system for open system. And the difference between these is that for blank on a web platform, if you go to the app and click open blank, then it's going to open it in a new tab. But if I build this for a mobile device, so I'm going to add the iOS platform, then I'm going to open this Xcode workspace file and pop open the app, configure the team which I want to sign the app with, and this is just for local testing. By the way, I can do another video for building to iOS and Android with Ionic. If you're interested in that, just let me know in the comments below. But for now, I'm just going to kind of assume that you have the build working on your phone or whatever you're building it to. I'm also going to add a build.json file with the following configuration, because when I tried to build for iOS, I got an error saying that it didn't like using the new build system. So I'm going to try building again with the old build system, and that's again just because of this configuration file at root build.json. And then I'm going to build it to my iPhone. Alright, so I have the app loaded here on my phone. I'm just going to click open blank. So on the mobile device, like I was saying, this opens it in the in-app browser. So this is the in-app browser. You can kind of configure how it looks and stuff like that. If I click on the terms of service or something like that, then it'll still like stay in this in-app browser, but then I can navigate back using these arrows right here at the bottom right. And yeah, so this is how the in-app browser looks. You can click this done button and then it'll go away and I'm still just inside the app. Okay, now if I click the open system button, this will always open the URL in the system browser. So click open system and it will navigate over to Safari, which is my default browser for my iOS phone. And so this is just open in Safari like normal. So depending on what sort of behavior you want for your app, you can use either the blank or the system. Oh, and by the way, sometimes when you build your app, I found that I get this error saying internal navigation rejected. If that's the case, go ahead and add this allow navigation to your config file. It'll just go right here, allow navigation star, but only do that if you get that error. Otherwise leave it out because there's no need to have it in there. Then if you find yourself wanting to configure more things about the in-app browser, there's just the documentation for that. I was just covering the basics in case you guys got stuck at the very beginning. But yeah, just go to github.com/apache/Cordova plugin in-app browser. I'll leave a link in the description to this page. They basically just describe all of the different options, including the ones I already described, like the URL, the target, but mostly this options array. And you would pass those options in right here. So the third argument is in-app browser options. So you can just pass in those keys right here, like location, and then either no or yes for this one, and you can just configure the rest exactly like that. So if you have any needs beyond the most basic ones, be sure to read up on this document. It would take me probably like an hour or two to cover all of these options. There are so many of them. Alright, let's see if we can get this working on my Android phone as well. So I've run Ionic Cordova platform add Android, so that's the first step to adding the Android platform. Okay, and with my Android phone connected via USB, I'm going to run Ionic Cordova run Android. And if you're wanting more details on how exactly I can build to Android, because there's a bunch of stuff that went on behind the scenes that I needed to do to get this to work, let me know in the comments and I can do a separate video on the whole build process with Ionic. But assuming you have that all set up, alright, so I have the app open here on my Android phone. I'm going to click Open Blink, and this will open the in-app browser. So it opens that up, and I have built-in navigation buttons, and note that I'm still inside of my app. Okay, I'm going to close the in-app browser. Okay, back in my app, I'm going to click the Open System button, and this will open it in my actual browser, so I'm in the Chrome app right now. And so that's the difference between Blink and System. Again, that System opens it in my default browser, and Blink opens it in the in-app browser for the Ionic app. And that's only when the Ionic app is running on Android or iOS. If you're running on the browser, it always opens in a new tab. If you like this video, be sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos like this. I'll see you guys in the next video.